Hello, everyone. This is Rebecca Lalane here with the DVAS table. Welcome.
And hi, everybody. Welcome back. I am Laura, and I'm here today.
So this DVAS table is to actually incorporate 2 months, both April as well as May. April was a super busy month, so we didn't have a chance to record then. So it's a twofer, 2-in-1. First and foremost, I want to make sure I'm taking accountability and recognizing businesses, people, information that come from BIPOC folks in our community. So I found a wonderful person, Dr. Lissa Ramirez Stapleton. She is phenomenal. She's done a lot of great work. I would highly recommend you checking out her website. I will type that afterwards and make sure that that is in the bottom of the recording. She is a professor at CSUN University. Please take a look at her website. I want to make sure you get it firsthand, but really a worthwhile read. She's a phenomenal woman. So April, let's talk more about that, Laura.
Yes, we had the spotlight on April because it was Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And so lots of major events happen with that. And it's a serious topic that we don't take lightly. And so we wanted to have some conversation about that and what's going on here and really all over the country as well as all over the world. Lots of meaningful conversation is being had about this topic, whether people experience it firsthand or are witness to it, etc. Different situations arise, and it's important to recognize the awareness on that. Right now, the hot topic going on, of course, in social media, and have the famous Hollywood partners, as you all know, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Right now, there's the court case going on, lots of talk about the accusations, domestic violence. It's a pretty complicated situation because the two are extremely famous. And it spotlights on how this affects everybody, people who are run of the mill and even famous people too. So we wanted to recognize that to make sure that we're all protecting ourselves and sharing information and being safe in relationships and information sharing so that we can go ahead and be safe and celebrate, the good things that come out of it, like the talk and the sharing, etc.
Yeah, so in terms of sexual assault, I have to say kudos to those people that are brave enough to talk about their experience. And really, it goes to show that we are not alone. So there is support out there. Also, it was National ASL Month. So American Sign Language is our language. It's great to recognize it. April 15th in particular was the National ASL Day. And the reason they chose that is that it was the founding day of the American School for the Deaf. So April 15th is also National ASL Day. I did not realize that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
So in terms of American Sign Language and storytelling and really great people putting our language out there, I wanted to give recognition to someone that you can follow on Facebook or Instagram. It is Perseus McDaniel. They have a handle called 85 That. The reason why is our sign for, ooh, that's super cool, looks like the number 8 and the number 5 put together. So if you type in 85 That, you can find them and follow them on Instagram or Facebook. They are a person of color. They've got amazing stories, all done in American Sign Language, great sense of humor. Please check them out. So Laura and I did go to a conference in Nashua, New Hampshire this past month called the Allies Conference. And it was our first experience with that conference in person, also the first COVID-free experience we've had in quite some time.
Exactly.
And there were about 100 people in attendance, deaf people, hard of hearing folks, deaf blind, children of deaf adults, hearing folks, interpreters, the whole gamut. So everybody came together, fascinating experience. And Laura, I noticed that you've got the shirt that you're wearing from the conference.
Yes, yes. People who attended the conference got this shirt right here. You can take a look at it. And again, the point is that we're looking at each other, sharing stories, listening to what we have to say. And the Allies Conference was an interesting experience for me. It was the first time I'd ever been in a venue as such. And it was great to see different people, to hear about their journeys and their life experience. And it really was an opportunity to listen and to learn. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was a good moment of unpacking as well, to see that everybody has such unique journeys and to kind of reassess my own. So it's a learning process. We're all going through it. So that person who designed the shirt, I have to give them recognition. They are a Vermonter, and his name is Adam Glazier. So he designed that shirt. Yay, Vermont deaf community.
Yes, and I will show you the back of the shirt now as well.
Go, can you do it again? Great.
It might be hard to see.
And do you remember what the background of that particular image is?
My memory is a little bit foggy. You don't mind?
So I believe this was the original design for the Allies. The triangle, I don't know what that represents, but it's something to do with people coming together from the deaf community and hearing communities, something to that extent. I don't know if I'm correct in that, but I think that's the gist of it.
Yes, working together.
Yeah, so great to have that experience and also just to see people in person finally. It's been 3 long years of the pandemic and I was like, whoa, it's so hard to remember how to socialize again and how to interact and know that, oh, you're not just a 2-dimensional person I see in Zoom. Like you have 3 dimensions.
Really, I know.
Yeah, it was culture shock kind of because it's been such a long time since we've actually been in person. So that was in April that we went to the Allies Conference. And then the very last weekend of April, DVAS and Kate Parrish from Higher Ability Vermont, as well as Jessica Hutchins from Bankro Integrated Interpreting Services, all hosted the Vermont Deaf, Deafblind, Hard of Hearing, Hearing Inclusive Day. So that was to uplift all of our community to come back together in person, to share what resources we currently have, and also who the players are within each organization, because there's been a lot of change of hands. So with COVID, I know people don't always know what resources are out there. People have been a little bit isolated, and I wanted to show that we have so many resources. We had 18 different vendors ranging the gamut for services for deaf people, also for those who are recently having a hearing loss and newly deaf. So again, lots of options, great information out there. And it wasn't just for deaf community, it was for the entire deaf, hard of hearing, deafblind, etc. community. So we had probably, 75 people there that came through and checked things out. Plus it was a nice time to reconnect and socialize and reintroduce ourselves, and really nice turnout for the first time. Looking forward to doing it on an annual basis. Yeah, really good, successful event. Happy that happened.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad it all worked out. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but it's great to know that it was such a success and that people had the opportunity to go and to, share resources and see what's available out there. Very nice. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and especially, for Vermont, we're such a small state, but it doesn't mean that we're not that big of a deal. We're great. We are a wonderful state, and we can connect on so many levels. We can partner with a lot of different agencies, and that event really went to show that, yes, we can work together despite being such a small state, despite being far apart. So it was nice for people to see like, oh, everybody is well connected and we're not siloing.
Right. Vermont is a small state for sure, but with a lot going on.
Yeah, so that is your snapshot for April. Moving into May. So still ASL Awareness Month. I'm not sure if you recall, it was a year ago, sorry, misinterpretation, ALS Awareness Month. So a good friend of mine has been impacted by ALS, and I shared that last year. He is doing okay. He's taking it one day at a time, but it's been a year, and the impact, I've already seen the changes in his health decline. I would like to, again, do another fundraiser. This will be my second annual walk/run 5K as a fundraiser for him, for his medical needs and helping to cover the cost, because insurance does not cover 100% of the treatment, unfortunately. There's always going to be medical expenses. There's always going to be some type of bill coming his way. So either this month or June, I'm going to run for him. So keep an eye out for that.
Great. Yeah, let me know. I'd love to join if I can. And I'd love to support that cause. For sure.
Thank you. Yeah. So, Mental Health Month.
Yes, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're going to focus on mental health this month and in many avenues. Many people are living with mental health issues and are coming out and opening up more about that and having discussions about it. It's not always easy to talk about people and their mental health struggles, but this is the month where we can listen, share stories, have discussions, see what's offered in the community in terms of help and support. And to know what's out there and what's available for help. Be on the lookout for different events, different resources that are made available. And again, remember that DVAS is here to help with any need that you might have. So reach out to us if this is something that you'd like some guidance with. So we want to focus on Mental Health Awareness Month. Every person has experienced some form of mental health challenge throughout their life, and especially just leaving the pandemic and being part of that for the past few years, we definitely need support.
Absolutely. And just remember, like, it's okay to reframe. Like, thinking about getting back out into the world after pandemic, it's tough. And we have all been impacted, our mental health, our physical health, and this is a different journey. So I know a lot of people are questioning, how do I navigate this? And it's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of stuff to unpack mentally and physically and spiritually, emotionally. So yes, I have to admit, Vermont is a state that is not easy to find counseling. I am right there with you all. So please reach out to us at any point in time. We will try our best to find resources that work best for you. We will do what we can to find, interpreters in your area if you want to go to see a counselor in your local place that does not have a deaf counselor. And I understand that people would love to work with a deaf counselor or someone who is fluent in sign. So we'll try our best. There are some remote practitioners out there. I don't know how it works, if it's via Zoom or FaceTime, but again, reach out to us. We can work with you to see what resources we can find. Don't feel like you have to struggle through this alone. Don't feel like you have to go it alone, because again, you are not alone. We are here to support you, and we will try our best to find someone to work with you because you are important.
And I agree 100%. We are here to work with you. We are here to support, work together.
Yeah. So, as you probably have all seen in the news of late, the abortion law, Roe v. Wade. Any comments, Laura?
Well, it's been an ongoing topic, of course, through the years. And it's something that we don't really focus on and talk a lot in the main spotlight. I don't think the focus is on it enough, to be honest with you. And so we had Roe versus Wade happen, and now, that issue is starting to become more popular again because of the proposed changes that people are talking about. And so in my opinion, there's not much awareness of abortion, and there's a lot of taboo about it in our community. There's just not a lot of discussion out there. So I think it's time that we made a change and started talking about this on many different levels, remembering that people have a choice. People have different opinions. People have the right to feel the way that they do feel about it. There are different reasons that people might consider an abortion and it might not. So there's different factors that play into this topic and the decision that is ultimately made. And we have to remember at the core that people are dealing with many factors that we just don't know about. And so ultimately it's a choice that's made, and we need to respect a choice that's made. And we have to continue to learn about and to fight for our rights and have productive, have a lot of more discussion on reproductive rights. Unfortunately, it's an issue that has not had a lot of discussion on of late. And so we need to be able to make our own decisions and not have laws made for this and decided by us. This is a personal choice, and let's see if we can work more on fighting that so that the law isn't changed.
Oh, I agree 100% with you, Laura. Yeah, it's amazing that, who is to say that women should be controlled by other people? It's kind of like, excuse me, who's making up this law? This is my body, my choice. So Laura, your body is your choice. And again, like we always say, you have to have consent. You have to ask permission before hugging, before touching, etc. So for a law to come about that's going to change this, I honestly just want to say, fuck off. Like, no, this is my body. I make these decisions, and it's terrifying for women in our community that
and the next generation.
I know. Yeah. The other thing is, I have to say, I am really excited that Vermont, for some reason has decided to, hold the course and make sure that abortion is a right for women in this state, no matter what happens at the Supreme Court level. So thank you, Vermont, for keeping this law enacted for us and our state. So I do think about, women and girls that are going through a really tough situation. And it's not that abortion is just because someone doesn't want to have a child. Some people, for health reasons, cannot go through with a birth. If the child is actually growing in the fallopian tubes, that is dangerous and risky health-wise to the mother. So that is why they might choose to abort. And also, it might be for domestic violence reasons. Maybe someone has been raped and is now pregnant. So there are more reasons than you realize that people choose to have an abortion. It's not just one reason. It's not cookie cutter. So please remember that everybody has a story behind their rationale.
That's so true, right? And everybody's story is different, and our experiences are different. And policies, are set up for that cookie cutter, mode. And it's unbelievable, really. This is not how it works. Everybody has a different life experience, wants to make different choices, has a different journey that they're on. And so it should ultimately be left to the person to have that option. And we need to feel safe too. We need to feel safe, because right now I don't feel safe. These decisions that are being made, on women, children, transgender people, it's scary. It's really scary. And I feel like, come on, what is even going on here? We're in the year 2022, and this is really happening. It's not okay. And we need to put a stop to it. It's just, we need to make some changes here, and hopefully, having conversations and talking about this and educating ourselves will help if we work together to make these changes, so that our reproductive rights are sacred, and are in sense our choices, not something to be decided upon by the legislature.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers, toes, all the digits crossed as much as possible. Whatever you can cross them.
Like this.
Yes. Oh, such a heavy topic. So please keep an eye out on Roe v. Wade and where things are going with the Supreme Court. Feel free to get involved, say what you need to say, do your part, and, let people know that what they're doing is not okay. Yeah. So I know
Mhm.
that's a really heavy subject. Let's shift gears and lighten the mood a little bit. I have been reading the book Deaf Utopia by Niall DeMarco. Here's a copy of it. So
Mhm.
have you read it too?
I have. I read it. Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, when I got the book, I was so excited. I couldn't wait, and I was on break from school, so it was just the right time for me. It's a great book. It's really heartwarming. He talks of his experience and his journey, his how he grew up, his family. It's so many factors and quite interesting. Really, it was an interesting read to see him in a different light, to see him develop his deaf identity, to see, his fluid identity as well. He talks about so many parts of his life, and I feel like he opened the door to lots of discussion. It was a cool read. I really enjoyed it. It was light and easy to read and very enjoyable. Yeah, have you read it, Rebecca?
Yes, I have. And as soon as I got it, I was just so excited. I was like, let's get this. I went to your mom's bookstore, which is a local bookstore in Brattleboro. Feel free to go there, everybody. So I grabbed a copy, brought it home, and read it. Again, like you said, easy, light read, but also wonderful. Like as soon as I looked at the book, there were images, and
Same.
of course I had to see who it was and check through all that. And then I read through it. But yeah, a lot of talking about his identity and realizing who he is and how he wants to be in the world. And coming from a multicultural family, he recognizes that, he moved around a lot, and oftentimes the family would go with him. So it's like the family sticks together no matter
Mm,
what. And that was so heartwarming.
right. It's a more collectivist point of view, the
Yes.
way their family ran.
Absolutely. And also he shared, some pretty intense stories about discrimination that he's experienced, what his uncle went through, as well as what his dad went through, and language deprivation because of his family. I think his grandfather was in the military. I'm not gonna, no spoiler alerts, but read it yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
he talked a lot about language deprivation and his experience in the airport. That was a part that I absolutely loved. You know what I'm talking about, right? That part?
No, tell me.
Well, I don't want to ruin the surprise, of course, but there was a part that I just loved. He was in the airport, and I could apply that story to my
Yes, yes.
experience. Yeah,
I
yeah, you know
gotcha.
what I mean? Right. So that definitely, I related to. I mean, I experienced it myself, crisis is in the airport as a deaf person. I could definitely identify with that. So it was nice to know, oh, I'm not the only one that has gone through this. It was great.
Yeah. The other thing too is, he talks about, even though, yes, he's gotten interpreters, it's not 100% accessible all the time because, based on whatever company they're working for, it's always a work in progress, and there is some frustrations and struggles despite having access of language through interpreters. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. And his time with America's Next Top Model, and then also his time on Dancing with the Stars, different experiences for him. And it was nice to see what it was like for him. So if you haven't read it, pick it up, check it out, read through it. It's amazing. So it's got the identity journey, it's got the language deprivation conversation. He talks about access, he talks about who he is and his family. So it is amazing. You get a little bit of a snapshot about different parts of his life.
True. There's also another book that I'd recommend by a deaf author. It's called True Biz.
Oh, True Biz. Okay.
Yeah, True Biz, right? It's how we sign it. Yeah. uh, it's great. I just started it. I'm enjoying it. It's very different than Deaf Utopia. This is more of a story.
Fiction? Oh, okay.
It does talk about it does relate to true stories, right? But it's more like a novel. So it's so far so good. I do want to let you know one cool thing is that the chapters are noted with the hand shape of the alphabet. So I thought that was kind of neat, you know. Uh, it added to that, you know, you don't see that often in books. So it was really a cool little added surprise. So these are two new novels by deaf community members, you know, written by them. So it's great. I hope to see more books by deaf authors coming forward. And so, right, of course, I'm biased because I grew up with my parents owning a bookstore. So I've been surrounded by books my whole life. And so this is finally a moment for me to read something by a deaf author. And I'm really excited about these two books.
Yeah, we definitely need more deaf writers. I have not read True Biz as of yet, but good to know you recommend it so far. I'll have to get that next. Thank you for the
Definitely.
recommendation. All right, so really exciting news in the deaf community is the Deaf Olympics have been going on in Brazil. So here is an update. They did start on April 30th and they will go through May 15th. And as you know, typically they've got basketball, soccer, swimming, cycling,
Volleyball.
yeah, volleyball, tennis, and a few other sports as well. So I did take a look to see where we stand right now with the medals. So as of a couple hours ago, United States has a total of 20 medals, 6 gold, 2 silver, and 13 bronze. And predominantly they are from the swimming category as well as judo. And I know that right now they're also involved with basketball, soccer, and cycling and tennis today. So we'll see how that happens. They haven't had the championship rounds as of yet. So swimming is a quick event. So that's why the medals came through so quickly. I did watch a little bit of the men's basketball, and it was USA versus Kenya. Yeah, they definitely got creamed. You know, I saw some people saying, "What? This is not great. Like they shouldn't be doing it this way, and what's going on?" And there was a lot of dialogue about how they were doing it, and they assumed that like the 5 players on the team were going to be there, but they did actually change out. They had subs. It's a bit of a hot topic. As far as soccer, I want to say the men's team, USA was versus Brazil, and it was 0 all the way across. And then we almost got rained out. And then Brazil, or no, maybe it was Turkey, scored the first goal. And so we lost that game. The women were playing soccer. It was USA versus, oh, maybe that was Turkey. I get the two confused, but we did win 4-0 on the women's side of things. So we're just working our way through the brackets. And if you can, take a look at USA Deaf or on Instagram. So there's all the updates that you need to know.
Facebook as well. Yeah, it's on Facebook too.
Yeah, wonderful to see what's going on. I wish we could see it on national TV.
Mhm. Yes, right. There was a deaf person from Maryland. Let me collect my thoughts. They were, oh geez, I'm I'm blanking on the name, but they had blogged about how they wished that this were telecast, you know, for us to view live, and I feel the same way. And they made a really poignant point. Let me remember what it was. I guess if you want to check out the updates, etc., yeah, you could check out the Daily Moth. They tend to update on that and keep track of what's going on. So go ahead and look at Daily Moth too.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's fun to see also who's there, who's representing us, how they're doing. And I think there were a lot of countries. I forgot to see how many in total, but I did see that currently the most medals have gone to the Ukraine, which is so heartwarming because you know they're going through such a tough time right now. And I like that Ukraine was still able to be involved despite the war that's happening over there. And I'm sure it's maybe just a little bit of a shining light for them. But again, Ukraine winning that most medals so far, hats off to them.
Yes, my feelings as well. That's nice. And we're hoping, you know, US can win some more medals, of course, right?
Yeah, we've still got a lot going on, still rounds of basketball. So again, check it out, support the deaf community as much as you can through the Deaf Olympics.
I wonder if there's anyone from Vermont in the Olympics this year. Any
Not that I'm
Vermonters?
aware of. No, I don't think
Hmm.
so. But there are a couple of folks, from New England area, as far as I've seen, but no one specifically from Vermont, which means, hey, everybody out there in Vermont, get to it, get your
Yes,
athleticism
yes.
on.
Right, do it.
So, if you could, Laura, get involved with any sport on this level, what would you choose? What would your event be?
Swimming.
Mm.
Oh, yes, I used to be on the swimming team. That was pretty good. And then, as a teenager, I just lost interest because I was a teenager. I wasn't really into sports at that age, but swimming definitely was something that I enjoyed, and I would have loved to, do more had things gone differently for me. Yeah. What about you? What about you, Rebecca?
Yeah. I mean, I love swimming too. I have also been fascinated by Olympic swimmers, like how they're able to do the butterfly. Oh my gosh.
Right?
Good on them. And I've tried my best in a pool and I just cannot do it. It's so difficult. I would never make the team.
Yeah, I used to practice that all the time, and so I was able to do it a while back. I don't know about now.
But even though as much as I love swimming, I think I would do soccer, aka football, as it's known in other countries.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I did play soccer for a lot of years as a kid and all through high school. And, you know, I played on a co-ed team because we didn't have enough girls to have our own team. So I joined the boys team. And I always felt like, yeah, I got this. I am a little more aggressive because of that. And I played at Gallaudet when I was there for a little while and played on the women's team. So different, such a different experience than co-ed, but I would pick soccer. All right. So I think that's it. You want to add any more before we wrap up?
No, I think we had some good topics to discuss today. And again, please send us information that you want to watch us discuss. And let me know. We're happy to have guest people on as well. If you have something to share, we appreciate it. So we're hoping you're going to have a great weekend and a nice week. I know summers feels like it's just around the corner, right? We're in May.
Finally, yes, bring on the warm temperatures and the sunshine. Oh, Vermont is, I feel like we don't get enough sun. We don't get enough vitamin D. So once summer
Mhm.
hits, oh, I am outside soaking it up. Cannot wait. But
Mhm.
yeah, you are right. If anybody has any topics or suggestions for the DVAS table or feedback on how we do it, or if you want to be a guest speaker, we would love to have you on board. Let us know your thoughts. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.